I recently had a trip to the mountains and decided that the view from the balcony was something that might make a decent star trail picture. So decided to investigate the settings on the Nikon D600. What we're dealing with today is a Nikon D600 with a Nikon 17 to 35 lens, which is a 2.8 fabulous piece of glass. And this little camera here is ideal for traveling if you don't want to draw attention to yourself. It's nearly as good as some of the heavy duty DSLRs from Nikon. It's got dual card slot, takes massive file sizes, can do video, it does everything. Fabulous piece of kit. So that's what we're using today, and we're going to see if we can explain time-lapse and interval timing photography. The first thing to do is figure out what the actual exposure is going to be to perhaps show a little bit of detail in the foreground and dark enough to show the stars in the sky. Now for this particular scene I decided that 30th at 2.8 400 ISO would be the way to go. So set the camera on manual, set the shutter speed right down to 30 seconds and the aperture wide open at 2.8, and that gives you the image you can see there in front of you. ISO 400. The other thing to do is focus the camera into infinity. If you've got a lens that enables you to set it on that infinity mark on the lens, you could do that. Alternatively, just try your best to focus on something in the distance and lock the manual focus on the camera so the focus stays locked. The next thing to do is go to the menu on your camera and find the interval timer and set it up for the interval. Here I've chosen 1 minute intervals. Okay, we'll just change that to 1 minute and 1 second intervals, and you then decide how many pictures you want to take. You can roll it along here. We've got it set at 101 at the moment, but you can go right up to 900 pictures. So there we have the time between each image and the number of images you're going to shoot. And then when you've got that set, you can tell it to start now or select to start time sometime in the future. Here's the time on your camera that exists now. So if we're on 1553, so you would just roll these numbers forwards to say, I don't know, 1555 or something, and then you're all set to go. So 1555 for example. We're not going to quite make that, so we would have to probably go to 1556. Agreed, agreed, confirm, 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 on OK. So that will start firing in a minute or so's time. Obviously if you're shooting long exposures, you're going to need a tripod or possibly a clamp of some sort, even a beanbag I suppose, but you're definitely going to need to stabilise the camera. I would also suggest taking a torch so you can see what you're doing, see how the camera's being set up, and it will certainly save you from falling over in the bushes. Now with the interval timer, you're going to wind up with maybe 400 pictures as we've got here, and those will be single JPEG images which you can park into a folder on your computer and then use a software to stack those images, and we'll reveal a couple of the different softwares for doing that in the links below. But that does the whole thing for you, and you wind up with a lovely star trails picture. So when it comes to time-lapse, it's a similar thing, except with a time-lapse you're shooting lots of pictures, but the camera actually cooks all the pictures down and you finish up with a video, and you can't access your single images. You've just got a ready-made video. So in that case, the first thing I would do is go to shooting menu and just check the movie settings. Now I've got 1080 at 24 frames a second. Now 24 frames a second will give you a clue on how long you need to be shooting for, or more correctly, how many images you're going to need. There's 24 frames in a second, so 10 seconds is going to be 240 frames. So we'll select that. Now we'll go back to the shooting menu, come down here and find time-lapse, which I think I went past. There it is, time-lapse. And what you're going to do here is you've got the same settings for the image that you're going to be taking, which in this case was, what was it, 30 seconds at 2.8 or something. You can go to the, let's have a look. So the interval between each image, we're going to select 1 minute. We are going to choose the time, how long we want the camera running for. We've got 5 hours here, so it's going to be going for 5 hours, shooting 1 picture a minute, and the time length of the movie is going to be 12.6 seconds when the whole thing's been cooked down. You see a little picture of a movie reel here, film reel. So if you change the shooting time to 6 minutes, you're going to get 15 seconds of video, just over 15 seconds, at 24 frames a second, 1080 video. So on the screen, coming up soon, you'll see the actual time-lapse video that I shot. One thing to bear in mind is, if it's night and it's freezing cold and snowy, your batteries are going to go very quickly. So we didn't actually end up getting our 3 hours or 5 hours worth of pictures before the battery died. Now, I hope some of you found this interesting. It's quite a simple job really once you understand how it all works, and perhaps you'd like to subscribe and see what else we do in the photographic department, along with all our other mad capers that we get up to. Thanks very much for watching.